Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where we show that the honeymoon stage can last forever.
And ever and ever. And today we have some guests.
Ooh, who do we have in the building? So we have two guests, actually.
Yeah.
Let me introduce.
This one doesn't have his intro ready.
Let me introduce my friend Lou. Mr. It's Him, a.k.a. Poppy Banging, a.k.a. I Forgot I Had These, a.k.a. your girlfriend's favorite boyfriend, a.k.a. your favorite side nigga, and a.k.a. stop coming to him as a man.
Okay, welcome.
That's a lot of AKAs.
That's a lot of AKAs.
More than a gun shop.
Our other guest has a couple of AKAs as well. Not as many. Okay. Her name is Corinna Vega, a.k.a. Bronx Bonita. She's a mother, a model, a digital content creator. And you can catch her on New York City buses.
What?
Wow. Corinna, can you tell us a little bit about that? Why would we see your face on a bus?
Back in September of last year, I did a commercial with Ali Bank, and a part of it was just like commercial. I honestly didn't even know I was gonna be on a bus.
You didn't know?
So yeah, you know when you sign those contracts, you're just like, okay, yeah. But
as a New Yorker, that must be cool though.
It's amazing. I mean, it's unreal. Like when I saw it for the first time, I was just like, wait, what? Like,
and Lou, you rode the bus over here, so
I
it's all
took the
full
bus.
circle.
I took the bus. I was actually in an Uber adjacent to the bus. Saw her before she even got here.
Yeah. Corinna, were you featured in the New York Times?
I was.
Something? Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I try to click on the article, but the New York Times ain't free. So I didn't get to read what
Oh my God.
Can you tell me what that was about?
So last summer, because, we was like trying to start coming back outside after the whole pandemic. So I was actually at the brewery, the Bronx Brewery. Shout out to the brewery. I love the brewery. It was like the weekend of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So one of the nights they had like a salsa night.
Okay.
It was a party called Rosie Perez.
Okay.
So I was there with my friends, and I'm a salsa dancer too. You can add that to my list.
Okay.
And my friend Andrew and I, we were just social dancing, like having a really good time. And there were like some people from the New York Times there. Her name is actually Corinna. Oh, wow. And she was writing a story on like life post, like coming out of pandemic, nightlife essentially. Okay. So I had my little thing in there, real quick. Okay. And she was just really like amazed at like me and my friend Andrew. And we just had conversation about like how I felt about nightlife and stuff like that. And like what it feels like, what it felt like. And it was great because it was like literally right after the pandemic. We're like, oh no, we outside.
We were almost back inside.
Everybody was like dangerous. I was a little dangerous salsa dancing with no mask or whatever, but whatever.
You only live once.
Exactly. I was living my life. But also those are things that we crave, right? We were craving things that we were doing prior. We were craving normacy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's really dope. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Today's episode is going to have a focus on friendships, platonic friendships. What's the difference between how women love on each other as friends, how men love on each other as friends, or maybe don't.
I guess don't.
Right? He's like, whoa. Hey, yo. But yeah, before we jump into it, I hope Travis has a did you know for us.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I do. So, did you know? Did you know being in love eases chronic pain? Though love isn't going to be replacing modern medicine anytime soon, it could come in handy if you ever find yourself in some serious pain. One study conducted by researchers at Stanford University School of Medicine found that warm and fuzzy feelings create the same response in the brain as painkillers without any of the harmful potential side effects.
So that's why after somebody breaks your heart, you get over it quick?
No, opposite.
Yeah.
How?
Because, like, why would
it
getting
reduces
off
pain?
Being in love reduces pain. Why would heart?
Because they might hurt you, but you still love that person, and it kind of makes you forget what's happening. No, I misunderstood.
Yeah, I feel like you took that wrong.
I took it wrong.
Also,
makes
it's
sense,
snowing,
though.
guys. Just saying. Sorry.
What?
Oh.
I love,
Little flurries.
little flurries. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it makes sense. It's like when you hug somebody, you feel instantly like better for that second. So it makes sense. And when you're in love, you get like motivation. So
That's
it
true.
makes you like, I don't want to be in pain. I want to feel good, you know?
And you could be addicted to love too.
Oh, yeah.
What was
That's
it?
me. I thought that might be me.
You're
What,
addicted
addicted to love?
I don't know if it's like an addiction, but I am like this really big ball of love.
Okay.
And
Do you crave love or you like to give love? Or
I like to give love.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's like addictive, but I just feel like so much of who I am is love. Like I am love. That's how I see it. And
That's beautiful.
I mean, it could be bad if you're giving it to the wrong person, right?
True.
but I don't think I necessarily, no, maybe not. Maybe it's not addictive. But
You know
I
how to
just,
control it though? Like maybe I shouldn't love this or that as much or as hard.
that's where I be struggling. Sometimes I'll be like,
And y'all are both single, right?
yes.
Okay. So who are y'all giving y'all love to right now?
Myself.
Babe,
Honestly, myself, yeah.
Yeah, self-love.
Definitely.
Self-love, but also
My
pouring
family.
love into my family and friends.
My friends,
love
for
is
sure.
important. Like even for our development as children, like forming secure attachments with the people closest to us is so important. So I feel like it's healthy that you feel like you are loved.
Yeah.
If it doesn't help when you don't feel love, I'll tell you that much.
When you aren't receiving love like from other people.
Yeah. Even like if my mom doesn't call me for like a week, I'm like, all right, she don't fucking love me. This lady lied to me my whole life.
My mom has never been that like emotional type, like the calling. Like in college, I would go weeks and weeks without hearing from my mom.
Wow.
And my friends would get like letters in the mail from their mom, or they're tired of their mom calling them. I'm like, oh, I should probably check on my mom.
Yeah.
I'm like
I
sweating.
feel like
I'm
my
sorry.
mom, well, both my parents, I feel like I kind of have that relationship. Like I don't speak to them every day. And sometimes I feel bad because I have friends that like talk to their parents every day. And I'm like, damn, I'm a bad daughter. Like,
Right?
But I don't know. It's just.
Travis
it's
made me
just-
feel like that because he talks to his parents all the time.
Yeah.
He calls them all the time. And I used to be like, And then even,
Well, it's because I moved to the Bronx, so they were worried about me.
first of all, there's a lot of Bronx energy
where you
in
from,
here.
Brooklyn?
Relax.
And you're worried about the Bronx?
Exactly.
Nah, it's big Bronx.
I feel like
energy.
times have changed though. Bronx is definitely worse than Brooklyn now.
I don't know. I'm still scared of Brooklyn more. Maybe because I know the Bronx because I'm from here. But
Yeah.
Nah, I rep the Bronx now.
yeah. But yeah, your mom even like once we got married and everything, I feel like she called me a lot and I love her to death. But I felt awkward. Like I didn't know how to receive that type of love.
That's my son's grandmother, Jordan's father's mom. She calls me she calls me more than my mom, like every single day. But you know, it's funny because sometimes like when she doesn't, I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you not calling me? But then there's days I'm like, oh, like I won't answer my phone. But on those days where she's not calling me consecutively, I'm like, hold on, like what's going on? But I definitely feel that.
And I'm like, it's not
weird.
that I
You're
don't
like,
appreciate it. It's just we don't know how to like take it. Like it seems like I don't want her to think that I don't like her. I just really don't know what else to say anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm not used to that kind of love.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ready?
We are ready. So like I said, we want to talk about friendship. So Corinna, how would you describe like woman to woman friendships? Like what defines it?
Women to woman friendships, it's very essential. I
Okay.
feel like growing up, I want to say like maybe once I got to like junior high school, there was like this disconnection between me and women. It was like there was a lot of like people, you know, girls were jealous or they were envious or they were threatened by me. And like for a long time, I didn't have like super solid female relationships. When I became a woman, when I became a mother, over time, I was like, you know, because I was always the girl like, fuck girls. Like, I'm going to just have mad guy friends because that's what I vibe with. But again, like more and more into my womanhood, I realized how important it was to have like female relationships. So I think it's like, It's so important. Like, it's super, super important. I think now more than ever, I like put in time to like nourish the relationships that I have with females, because, and even meeting new females. Because again, that was something like very weird. It's like, you meet a guy, it's cool. Oh yeah, you my friend, like whatever. Like girls, you just like, you like side eyeing them, like, you my friend, like what's really going on here? So now I think I've been more, over the past few years, I've been more open like to receiving like more female energy versus like the opposite, gearing towards more male energy. And I will also say, I think a part of that is also part of like daddy issues, right? Because when your pops is not around, you gear to more male figures, because
seeking that.
Yeah, because you're seeking that male energy. So
Protection, kind of, safety.
Yeah, like you're exactly
like my big brother's kind of, but maybe daddy, you're not even realizing it.
Exactly. So
never thought about it that way.
Is that why you call me daddy?
Anyway.
She's like, no, it's because you ask.
It's funny because that conversation about having male friends, I hear women kind of being judgmental, like, oh, you just don't like women, and then you use this like, I have male friends, but like you really are just a hater towards women. But I never thought about it as like a daddy issue thing. But I also didn't have many female friendships, but I thought it was because I had this, I don't know why, I grew up way too fast, and I was like, I had a long-term boyfriend in high school. And looking back now, I'm like, why? I wish I poured some of that energy into female friendships.
Yeah. Same.
All my free time, I was with my boyfriend.
Same.
There were like opportunities through like my high school or programs that I could have done, but I was like, it took time away from my boyfriend, so I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
You know, things that could have went on my resume or my college application that I didn't do because I was up some guy's ass. Like, why the fuck?
It's real. And no, it really happens. I feel like that happened to me too. Like, I mean, I had female friendships. I had female best friends in high school. But like, once I had a boyfriend, like, it was over. I'm like, you outside in the Honda Civic?
The Honda Civic. No, I'm kind of. I feel like I was more so just chasing girls. I wasn't focused on building friendships, men or women. Okay. I had people who call me their friends, and I was appreciative of that. But when I look back on it, I wasn't pouring much into them, and it probably shows now that those friendships aren't still here. You know, I was half-assing it. Yeah, I got, for lack of a better term, like just brainwashed by the puss.
I feel like I was always 50-50. Like, you got to have guy time.
Yeah.
And you got to have your girl time. And it's like, who else am I going to talk shit to besides the guys about girl time, you know? And I just feel like starting early, like being with somebody for 10 years when you're young, it's not necessarily bad. It does show you how to be in a long-term relationship. Like, a lot of my closest friends I've been friends with for like 15 years, 12 years. So kind of helps.
But do you feel like you showed each other love, or was it more so like my boys that I could talk shit about girls with, or sports or clothes?
I think for the close batch, like my closest circle, I think it's love. Like me and my best friends, we call each other brother.
How does that manifest like in real things? Like you could point to a labor of love that was shown amongst each other.
How can I point? I don't know. Maybe like little things, like picking something up that I know my best friend loves. That's something a guy would normally do for a girl. Like, oh, she loves this water. Let me get her this water. And like, maybe for example, my best friend Hev, like, oh, I know he loves this hat. Let me get him this hat while I'm out here, you know?
So you're like a gifts kind of person.
I am.
Yeah.
Me too. Oh
I feel like I got that from like my female friendships, but male friendships is just like, all right, so who'd you sleep with today? Or
so women were buying you things? Yeah. I don't know who these girls
but it's
are.
younger, like, you know, I'm thinking like junior high school into high school.
I wasn't buying, especially a guy. I wasn't buying no.
Yo, thinking about it, going back, like I've been a gifter for so long. Like even guys that I dated in like junior high school, like Valentine's Day, I remember buying them hats, like fittings.
Were you showing up to school with the balloons and all that?
No, that was for them. You give me balloons, but like I would like buy like a hat or like even like a bag, maybe with a balloon to it. But I feel like that's a lot.
I'm a terrible gifter, so even now, like his family or friends will be like, "What is Travis getting?" Like, and I know they're asking because they know I'm not a gifter. And literally, my high school sweetheart was the same way. Like, what is she getting you? Because I was always receiving gifts. I don't know. I'm not a gifter. Like, I suck at it. I totally suck at gifts.
Yeah, it works out here because I buy everything I want for myself.
Yeah. And that's another thing. If you buy everything you want, like, what else is there for me to buy you?
She's
I
like, Trav, give me your card. Let me go get you something.
I like get him like underwear and undershirts, like things he forgets to buy.
Yeah.
You know, socks.
And my underwear don't have any holes today.
Okay.
I get him work clothes, like things like that. But
Yeah.
Things I'll overlook.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm going to read you something my cousin sent me, which made me think of this topic. So she said, I didn't start dating till I was in my 20s, but I feel like my friends taught me how to love and be loved. We'd go on adventures together, dinners. We wrote each other letters, gifts. Hell, in high school, I'd make whole ass mixed CDs for my besties with a letter explaining each song and its connection to our friendship.
Wow.
So do men have that? That's her question.
Yeah. Not in that like lovey-dovey
But
kind of thing.
imagine
But
me coming to you and be like, yo, I made you this playlist. Here's a meaning of everyone. You would be like, yo, Trav likes me.
Well, it's like pause.
I mean, that's how I am with Kanye.
It doesn't have to be a song, but like the equivalent,
Like something.
I mean, we
something
have a group
thoughtful.
chat that we like. If something he's listening to, he'll drop it in the group chat. Like, yo, fellas, this is what I'm bumping right now, and
Yeah.
like vice versa, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
But it's never like with a memo ticket with it. Like,
I feel like the older I get, the more emotions the men around me bring out. For example, our friend Sneak. Every time I talk to Sneak, every conversation he ends with, I love you.
yeah.
Not love you, not love, bro, or one. Nothing that makes it sound small.
Not Audi 2000. or
Exactly. It's straight up, I love you.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing. I love that.
Right.
you know, not all my male friendships do that, but I noticed since he does that with me, I do it with other guys. Like, love you, bro. So yeah, I feel like the older we get, maybe it's just like we realize we're not going to live forever, and then people are dying every
It's a
day.
little dark, but yeah.
No, it's true. Like
I think.
I
what
think he's gonna say
happens-
just get mature.
I think what happens is that you get more vulnerable. That's really what it is. It's like you don't really know what that is when you're young, and then as you get older, you become more and more aware, and you become more vulnerable.
Especially now with COVID and people were falling left and right. Like you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So it is important to say.
And
I love you.
also, we're being more aware of like mental health and
Yes.
like how a simple "I love you" could like change somebody's day.
life.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Not even day, their whole life. Absolutely.
I texted my boy yesterday, I love you, bro. He responded, hey, yo. I'm never writing that to him again.
No, that's the friend you got to keep doing it to.
True.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny, he's like Jamaican too. He's just like, man, standoffish.
Fatima.
Yeah.
fire for that.
He was like, unfollow.
Yo.
Insane. So you spoke about vulnerability. A lot of people see vulnerability as like a weak trait.
I think vulnerability is just the willingness to be open about stuff. I don't think it's necessarily bad. Like, obviously, like if you're in a hospital bed, you're vulnerable. Like anything can happen. But
yeah.
if you're just like home, I don't know, relaxing, you're vulnerable to anything as well too. So it doesn't have to be negative.
Okay. Do you feel so? We both were in relationships in high school, right? I'm thinking about my cousin's experience with her friends and how removing that intimacy might help you be a better person in a relationship in general. At such a young age, when you're developmentally not ready for like the heartache and the drama. Like, I feel like I was so toxic in my high school relationship. And maybe
Toxic how though?
just like not knowing how to like
Get gifts.
I still don't know how to get gifts. But let's say I have a disagreement with Travis. I know how to have that disagreement without being disrespectful or like low blows. Where in high school, I was a raging fucking bitch if I felt like I was on defense mode.
Gotcha.
Like I didn't think about how my words could have lasting effects on people. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe if I focus more on friendships, because I feel like you're a little more what's the word? Like you're less likely to like hurt a friend. When your intimate partner, you feel like they'll forgive you more, so you might cut a little deeper. Does that make sense?
It was opposite for me. I feel like I was so scared to lose, so I would hide everything that I felt. I wouldn't stand up for myself. Like I didn't really have a voice.
Wow.
Like it wasn't like,
it's like the other extreme almost.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he made me that way, but that's how I guess I viewed, like, okay, you just, like, I don't know, like, I kind of lost, I definitely did. Like, I lost my voice in that. And once I got older, I realized, like, damn, like, who the hell was I really? You're kind of, I mean, and we were young, so we're still trying to find ourselves. But it was definitely the opposite for me. Like, I was silly and I was myself and all those things. But when it came to, like, how I felt, I would keep all those things in. Yeah. Not, like, thinking that, like, if you knew how I really felt, you wouldn't fuck with me, or like you wouldn't want to be with me, or like stuff like that. So I guess in a sense I was a people pleaser in that way. Like,
was it specifically with him, or do you think you were that way with family and friends?
I think it was like very specific, like because it was an intimate relationship. Because I'm a very specific person, as in like I am who I am and I've always been, and I'm okay with that. But like I think when it comes to like relationships, I was always scared to like show my I was always emotional, but like scared to be too emotional. I always felt like being too emotional was
negative.
Was a bad thing.
It would push people away from you.
Yeah, like it was just like,
sounds like you wanted to be like the guy, like you wanted to be your partner's friend, not like, I don't know, like you were like scared to be too girly. That's what it sounds like a little bit. Especially
since you had a lot of male friends. Yeah. Probably like, I know how men think.
Well, okay, so that was another thing though. Like so before my relationship in high school, I had a group of guy friends. I used to call them the Goonies. I used to run with these kids from junior high school to like the first year or two of high school. Like those are my guys.
Bronx shit.
And then when I got in a relationship, I kind of basically had to like cut them off. And he was the one that was like, okay, so specifically I had like this one friend, but he was my ex-boyfriend. Fine, get it. But I remember he actually did this to me twice. Like 2 friendships that I had, he was just like, yeah, no, it's a dub. Like you, and because he was older than me, so he was like, yeah, nah, that's not gonna fly over here. Like you can't be friends with them. And I didn't understand that, and it broke my heart. So like at that time, my boyfriend was like that. Like that was it. Like the only guy friend that I could like, aside from the ones that he knew, because I was in. I was in dance classes, so like I had male friends like on the company team, so like he knew them and stuff like that. But like anyone else, he would just like look at me like, not realizing that, to be honest, that don't got nothing to do with me. That's an insecurity for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was okay with like,
I was gonna say I would have probably had that same insecurity, but also because in middle school and high school there was no males that was just trying to be my friend. Like no matter, even when it seemed, and if I was being nice to somebody because it felt like a friendship, they was trying to get out the friend zone. It's like, right, fuck, I can't even be nice
like,
to
guys
people.
Don't do that with like ugly chicks. I don't know.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
But I've had this conversation with him before. I think I still struggle with that to this day. Like
and I told her, I was like, if you wasn't pretty, I wouldn't be a friend. No,
you did say that.
Not on camera.
But like I still struggle with that. Like, why can't we just like, why I gotta be more like than like, I want to be cool, you're cool, but like I'm not trying to be anything more than that.
So where do y'all stand now with friendships of the opposite sex?
Like,
oh man, it's hard. Anytime I post a female friend, I get a DM. Yo, you hitting that? Or
oh god,
like on the regular. And I got mad female friends.
But do you have any that you feel? I mean, she could be sitting next to you, but do you have do you have any that you feel that you're like pouring into? Like this is a friendship that I really value, and you know, this is going to be a lifelong friend. And there's nothing. I'm not hoping that maybe one day we'll just stumble into a relationship.
There was somebody that I know she was going through a rough time, so I bought her flowers, right? We had like a friend lunch date, and I bought her flowers, and she took the flowers, and I'll never forget this. She's like, oh, thank you. And I was just like, damn. And then she was like, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if you were like, trying to be romantic to me. I was like, nah, like, I just felt like that was a good pick me up. And it sucks because a female suggested that, like, get her some flowers. So things got a little weird between us, but we spoke about it. I was just like, nah, like, I'm not like, I don't love you like that. Like, I love you, but not like that. So I don't know. It's case by case.
Yeah. Like I went to have dinner with a friend.
He was gonna say on a date.
No,
I looked at him so fast.
It wasn't a date, but with a friend, one of my female friends.
What is that?
One of my female friends. But I bought her flowers, and it's something that younger me wouldn't have done. But like, I'm trying to pour into my female friends in like love. Like I could say, like, you deserve this. Like, here's some flowers, just cause, like, and it doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah.
So I get that, but we're so conditioned.
But did she take it the wrong way?
No, but we're so conditioned that when men give flowers, it feels romantic. So like, I get how she might have been like, whoa, what am I supposed to do?
And just like you were saying, most of the men in your life have kind of let you down, where it's like, oh, this is going to be a great friendship. Then
then he's trying to fuck
you up.
Right. And I'm like, yo, I've definitely had to cut someone off because of that. Oh my God. Like, it's woo.
Now, this is my question for the ladies. So let's say you're friends with a dude and he is trying to get in your pants and you deny it or turn it down. Do you still stay friends with him? And if you do, what changes there? Like, in the back of his head, part of him wants to hit that,
I guess it would be case by case. Okay. Like maybe the first, like when he dipped his toe in the water, it was very light and I cut it off right away and he got it and then it stopped there. But then if it's like a constant like flirting or pushing, like it depends, I feel. I honestly don't have many male friends though.
I think especially at this age, we have the ability to set boundaries. Yeah. So like if shit like that happens, it's like, let's talk about it and like and especially if this is somebody that you see in your life long term, right? If this is a person that like I really genuinely care about and I want to be friends with, I'm gonna be like, okay, look, that made me uncomfortable, and I'm cool with being your friend, but if you can't just be my friend, then that's it, because there's really nothing else to talk about moving forward.
I know growing up, it just took one time for you to be like, no, I'm good. All right. Cool, straight. Like we're gonna be friends. And it just seemed, I guess, depending on the man, they don't take that well.
Some guys are very like, they just don't get it.
She's like, oh, it's just right now.
Yeah.
What's that? I feel like there's like a TV character like, I'm wearing you down, baby.
Damn, I can't remember the name. But I know exactly what you're talking about though.
Yeah, because sometimes then you start to question, like, has our whole friendship been you just trying to
Steve Urkel?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a conversation about that. But has our whole friendship been just you trying to, get somewhere else? Has it been fraudulent? Like,
I feel like there's also situations like a guy would try to get with his female friend and she'll say no. And maybe sometimes in his mind, he's like, maybe not right now. Maybe like in a year.
That's what he was saying earlier.
So stuff like that does happen. It's always
or sometimes it could be genuine friendship and then the feelings develop later. So that could
what if a guy's
happen.
Like, he's bringing his A game? Like, yo, I know what you need. I got it. Nobody could do this for you like me. Why? Why though? Like, I feel like sometimes you got to be assertive.
You could be assertive, bro, but if I'm not with it, I'm not with it. Like,
sometimes a conversation could be convincing. That's all I'm gonna say.
So here's my pushback on all of this. Right? Some like they say, the best relationships are built on friendships.
Yeah.
So how do we have this friendship but I also want a relationship?
Don't have
so
sex
that's
so
what
early.
I'm saying. Sometimes it could develop, but if it's one-sided, you can't be upset because, your feelings escalated somewhere, but the other person's didn't.
What if the guy tries to get with the girl? She denies politely. And then a year later, he's living his best life. Now the girl's like, damn, you know what?
No, that's happened.
Maybe there is something there.
They don't see
it
until someone else sees it.
If he's still willing to accept it, if he's still willing to engage with her, I guess it depends.
Yeah.
But
maybe something like, oh, he glowed up. Like, now I want him. And now, is it wrong of the guy to deny the girl? You know what I'm saying?
It's not wrong. It depends where you are in your life, denial comes from both sides. Rejection comes from both sides.
Yeah. That makes sense. I remember I moved to Cali. Every girl was in my DM. Oh, you doing big things? I was like, I was doing big things in New York.
Bronx girls was like palm trees.
I was flying out so many girls.
See. So maybe it worked out for you.
It did.
Trouble.
All right. So, if you've listened to the podcast, we have this segment called "Also Y'all Can Relate."
Mm-hmm.
So it started out with people messaging us like, we have similar stories or whatever, but it's a little different here, and kind of asking us for advice. So we made it a segment, and people submit stories and asking for our advice. And this is the first time we're going to do one with guests.
Okay.
Hey.
So you get
Let me
to
activate my guru. Hold on.
Yes, it's fun because it's like we get to be in other people's business, but they gave us permission to.
Right.
All right. Tell me the chisme.
Tell me the chisme.
All right. So I'm gonna get started. I didn't even title this one, honestly, because I forgot. But also y'all can relate. My man and I have been together for about 7 years. We have a toddler and a great life, truthfully. We really started from the bottom and built this life together. However, I have always contributed more financially, and it was always fine because we were building this life for us. So for every apartment, first, last, security, I've always put more down. I've always made more money in my job. I bought my own car and shared it with him for years until I put my foot down that he needs his own because I was having to be late to work or flex my whole day just to pick him up and drop him off. He has gone through 5 to 6 used cars that break down within a few months, and to this day, we still share the car. It feels weird. Okay, I'm going to pause there because I want to talk about that part first.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a situation, either of you, that your girlfriend makes more money or like you make more money than your partner, Corinna?
No.
Okay.
But being in relationships, I realized that men specifically have this idea that they have to be the breadwinner, right? And when you are, so there was times where like my son's father, he didn't have a job and I was working, and I can see what that was doing to him mentally. And in other relationships as well, I noticed how that comes up, where like the idea of like, oh, she's making more than me, or I can't provide enough for her. What can I do? And I think that honestly, just you have to break down that system of belief.
Yeah.
Right? You have to do what works for you. So if you're making the money and you're the breadwinner, that's what's up. Like kudos to you, because that works for you. And if y'all have a great relationship, then and as far as like because I get there's the frustration, right? Because it's like, okay, I need my car, you need your car. So that's when you have to ask the question, well, maybe like, are you comfortable?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been holding it down for us, but like now I need you to step it up a little bit.
That's a
so
good question.
those are like, I feel like those are conversations worth having. Like, look, we've been in this. I'm not trying to downplay you. I'm not trying to make you feel like anything, but like I need you to step up now, because now you're making my life inconvenient.
That's what I was gonna say. The fact that now it's inconveniencing her.
Bring the microphone.
Because fine, if you're okay with not having a car, but now I'm late to work, so you're messing up where I get my money from. Like that's where the problem came for me as well.
I feel like growing up, I would be excited if a girl made more money than me. I thought, ooh, I'm kept.
Because you're used to girls buying you presents and shit.
But this situation is obviously different. They've been together for a long time, building together. So it's not like you just start dating someone and find out that they got it like
they
that.
do an eye.
Yeah, like they both started from the bottom, right? So she kind of talks about that.
Have you been in a situation like that where either way?
I, for the most part, have always been the breadwinner. There was only one girl that I dated. She had way more money than me. Like she was flying me out. She was like taking me shopping, taking me to fancy restaurants. Yeah,
Flued out.
Yeah. And I actually messed that up. Like she asked me, like, "Do you want to be serious?" And I was just like, "Why? Like, this is great. Like, why would we want to mess this up?" But I do regret it because I know she would have took care of me.
But not for love. You don't regret the...
No, I feel like she was also super smart. And to me, that's more attractive than anything. Like a woman being so smart to the point where she got her money, she got her career. I don't got to worry about her. That kind of takes some relief off of me. Like, all right, I could go make my bread, my little coin or whatever. No, well, I probably won't make as much as her, but I think that's the only situation that I kind of regret.
I'm always like anti buying nigga shit, like
Why?
all that.
I want to know why.
But let me be honest.
You bought somebody a fake pair of
You right now, I'm kind of thinking like, damn, it might be fire to like have it like that I'm flying niggas out.
Yeah.
Like, that might feel kind of cool.
Like just one day, like, yo, Trav, like check your email. He's like,
but that's different. You know, I'm talking about
going to Puerto Rico?
If I wasn't married.
You could still play dress up.
Yeah, role play. Yeah. Like that. I'm a millionaire.
Have you ever had a guy fly you out?
Fly me out.
Whoa.
I
got some airline credit now.
So sometimes there's been periods in my life where I've tried to be a hot girl, but my heart is so big that like in those moments. So I've had a situation where a guy booked us flights to Puerto Rico.
Hey.
And then like
And how well did you know him?
I don't remember, to be honest. But let me finish. So like booked this flights for like a weekend in Puerto Rico, and then I called them and I was like, I can't go because I was actually in a relationship. So I felt bad.
See, that's completely different though.
But so what? He was still gonna.
What do you mean? So what?
No, she technically cheated.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
When he clicked place order, you cheated.
That kind of hot girl summer. That's what you.
It's funny that she says that she felt bad. I'll never forget. We in San Francisco, and that girl that was taking care of me, my sugar boo. We're in the store, and there was these sneakers that I wanted. They were like $500. And then she was like, get them. And I was just like, no, you already got me like 10 outfits. I'm okay. She was like, we leave the store and I'm here carrying my bags like, la, 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 la. And she comes up to me. She goes, next time somebody tells you to get something, you get it. I was like,
who's that?
The girl.
Oh,
I'm not going to say her name. I was like, open the convertible. Let me put these bags in the car.
Oh my God.
You fumbled that. Shit.
Who you telling?
You got her number?
Yes.
Travis need a sugar mom.
She's like, somebody gonna get Travis. It ain't gonna be me.
It ain't me. All right, let's keep going with the story. It feels weird to sit here and boast about myself, but it's just facts. We both came from nothing and have had zero financial help from our family or anything of that sorts. I put myself through school, training programs, internships. I work 2 to 3 jobs at a time, and he really never has. He's been at the same job since we first met with very minimal pay, no college education, or second jobs. I have excelled in my career and would label myself as a professional at this point. He's a preschool teacher, which I love and respect because he does a great job and is passionate about it. But throughout the years, he's seen people fly out the door leaving because they cannot support a family on that pay. He's almost 30 years old and has a family now. He's tried to do realty training, personal training, collection agency jobs, but within weeks goes back to his same teaching job because it's comfortable and those other professions were not for him.
I give him some credit. I give him credit because he's obviously not worried about his pockets. He's worried about fulfilling, you know, being a teacher is all about that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
He did try, he failed, but sometimes I think it's one of those situations like, hey, I've elevated to this. This is how I did it. This is how you could do it. This is how we should do it. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like he did try, but he's too comfortable.
I don't think you get like a A for effort in this situation because you have a family. Everything's changed. It's
so they have kids?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that changes. That changes.
Yeah, so that changes everything. Like you don't get to there's no more passion projects. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for your passion, but the main focus, in my opinion, you got to bring that bread.
Or do your passion, and then on the weekends you doing Uber Eats, even if you have anything, like whatever you got to do.
You got to be above comfortable. Yeah. When you have children, and you have to.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's
My dad wanted to be a baseball player. Like that was his goal in life, right? But he injured his shoulder. It didn't happen, and he's worked his ass off every single day. Like he wasn't like
he got a baseball card.
He does. He was AAA.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's super fire.
That's fire.
Yeah. But, he didn't let him just be like home, like sad about that dream not being fulfilled. He always worked and provided. So I agree with you on that.
But who's to say he doesn't feel fulfilled every day? Like I said, he works with kids. He's a teacher. To him, he's probably winning every day.
Yeah, but if I'm on the train dancing and I feel fulfilled, but these bills ain't getting paid. Like,
So let's give him a little more credit.
But they are
If we
getting
go
paid, just
down-
not by him. Honestly.
No, so let's keep reading because we're judging a little too much.
Yeah. We're nitpicking.
Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said something about like, you said dreams, like that's it, it's over. And I'm very like, that made me like, right?
Yeah.
Because as a mother, one of the biggest things becoming a mother for me was being told that like that was there for me, like, and that is fucked up.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
And again, all of this is all about perspective, right? Because shout out to her, first of all, because she sounds like she has her shit together, like she's really doing her thing, and that's a beautiful thing. And what I'm learning is that sometimes people are just, what's enough for some person is not enough for another person. Absolutely. Right? So it could be a few things. We don't know this person. We don't know this guy, right? It could be that he's very comfortable, or he could just truthfully be okay with doing his profession and what he's doing. But also, like, you gotta dive deeper in these situations. Like, being with someone who does have all their shit together. Maybe he's kind of like hiding behind her at this point. Maybe he's intimidated by her. Maybe he doesn't even want to like begin the process because he feels like, damn, I could never be as so good as my partner. Although it should never, although it should never be that way. I feel like these are important conversations to have with your partner. Like, real shit. How do you feel that I have all these accolades and you're just still here? Like, what does that do? What does that do to someone's like self-esteem? So it's like, for me, it's more of like, maybe he should really dive into like himself. If moms lose themselves, do dads lose themselves when they have kids too? Like, that's the thing too. Like, whether it's 7 years, whether it's 10 years, maybe he's still adjusting to being a father, or maybe he's still trying to figure out like, okay, as a father, like, what can I do? Or what are, what I'm saying? What can I give here? Like, a lot of situations is just very different. So it's hard for me to be like, well, step it up. You need to be a dad. But like, internally, what is he really going through? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If he is, or if he isn't, and how can you make that person better? How can you bring up your partner in a way that's not like making him feel like you ain't shit at this point? You know what I'm saying?
And also, who her dad was could impact her expectations of him, right? Yeah. And that actually comes up later in the story. Because I tend to be guilty of this, that I'm very like, get your shit together. You a man. Like, right. But it's because I told you about my father. Yeah. No one would know about his dreams of being a baseball player. He never talks about it. He just gets up and works. My dad had a broken toe. We never knew about it because he just took care of it himself. Like,
Mamba mentality.
never had like sick days. Like, yeah. If he went to the doctor, we like, are you dying? Because he like wouldn't. So me being raised that way, it kind of fucked up my perspective and my expectation of men, right? Right. Like, sometimes even if we have an argument, he'll be like, I'm not Juan. He's my dad. I'm like, fuck. So, it also fucks with you too, not just, it fucks with the daughters and the sons, depending on how the dad is.
And just to clarify, like, being a parent, I don't think you should have to kill your dreams, but that if your son, you have a son, right? Mm-hmm. If your son needs something, you're going to get it how you have to get it legally.
No, absolutely.
But
whatever
Walmart, whatever your passion is, it can go at the same time, but you're still your main focus is providing for your son.
No, yeah.
So, but I do think it takes like a little bit of a
backseat,
or
level up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm interested to hear the rest, only because I have a few questions.
Okay. I've been very understanding and patient with him because we all move at different paces. But it's just feeling like I'm exceeding him. And I know it sounds so harsh, but it's becoming unattractive. I'm doing the internships. Getting my degrees, have my own car and more. Whereas he still makes close to minimum wage, doesn't have a car, and is overall very indecisive about what he wants to do in life and very afraid to take any risk. Okay. I love this man with all my heart, and you and Travis honestly remind me of us in some ways. He's my best friend. We sit in the bathroom late at night, just laughing, smoking, and talking shit. He helps around the house, and I never met a better father in my life. He loves me, respects me, knows my love languages, and is great in so many ways.
But he's broke.
He's not broke.
No.
He has less money than her. Mm-hmm. Is he cooking? Is he cleaning?
He does help around the house.
You see what I'm saying? Like women,
so you want to put monetary value on those things?
I just feel like
you do.
For years, women fight for financial equality. Mm-hmm. You know, men get paid more, or I want to get paid as much. And finally, you in the lead, and you're complaining about it in a way. You know,
but I would say every single woman doesn't want what the women's movement wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But there's some girls like go to work.
Yeah,
I'll stay home.
Some women who want to be stay-at-home moms are now by this women's movement looked upon as like, after we fought for us to go to work, your ass want to stay home. So we also gotta understand that like the at the end of the day is about a woman's choice and having the choice to choose either way.
Why is it the woman's choice, not the man's choice?
What do you mean?
Because y'all carry the baby.
What choice are you trying to take away from us?
No. Like if the you know how like the woman has a choice whether I want to stay home, I want to go work. Mm-hmm. I feel like the man never has that choice. Like I want to stay home.
I think it depends because I think I know like maybe a handful of situations where it makes sense for the man to stay home and be the caregiver of the child.
Like if you fully worked from home, do you think you would still be going out to work, or you would also like, well, Trav gets to stay home, I'm gonna work from home?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Would
you think she'll stay home, or you think she'll go out and?
I think an even better question is if you were the breadwinner, would you resent me if I was home with the children?
I honestly, and this is no shade to you as a father, as a man, I just don't see you as being like a stay-at-home parent because you're not good in the kitchen. So what are kids are gonna eat? You know what I'm saying? Like. Yeah. I feel like
pasta's easy.
I still have to give you a lot of direction when it comes to like parenting. So it just doesn't seem like a right fit. But I have seen men who are just natural caregivers. Mm-hmm. And in that case, then it'll be a discussion. Like if my job paid more than yours and you're a natural caregiver, then why not? You know, like I guess it depends on the man and the woman.
I think what she should be asking herself is what her idea of like a relationship and what it should be and what it not should be, where does it stem from? Like she needs to question her beliefs first, more than anything, because are you unattractive? Are you unattracted to your person because society tells you like you need to be with someone that is the same with you? Mm-hmm. Because society tells you like he needs to do more, or you're now because you have all these accolades, you're more worthy of someone else. So it's like, how, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you gotta ask yourself those things, because what it sounds like to me and what you've read to me, it sounds like you're rich in love. Yeah. Like she's rich in love.
Yeah.
If I had somebody that I'll take that shit. Like somebody
hard to find.
Some people would kill for that.
Like even just being able to talk at night and chill, and he don't want to be in the streets.
You know, it sounds like in those aspects, like you are really rich, but you're feeding into this idea that he can definitely do more. Of course, we can all do more in a way. Yeah. But like, figure out really what you want. Forget about what the outside world says that this needs to be. Like,
what do you really value?
What do you really value? What are both of y'all values? Like,
but I think it's also possible that she is too far gone in that sense, because these things are ingrained in us from childhood. So it's like
repeated in everything we ingest all day.
So even you saying that right now, I 100% agree. But this is in me. Like I have this idea of what a man should be. I'm not gonna just let that go because, you know, it sounds good, or I'm rich in love. Nah, I need to be rich in money too. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also the drive that like not only wanting more money, but seeing someone
get fulfillment too, you know?
Yeah.
And there's also a case like if she's making more money and he's making somewhat money, if they're struggling financially, that's a big thing. Because then now she's going to nitpick like, well, we would not be struggling if A, B, C, you know, but if they're not struggling financially, then I feel like that's another issue.
Yeah. It gets into a little bit more.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah, there's a little more.
There's more.
I think there's some stuff worth reading, so you should.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to see where I was at. Okay. Am I being an asshole and should just continue to wait for him to get it together? I encourage him on a daily and emphasize his capabilities. I couldn't imagine ending the relationship just because of this when he is a great man to me otherwise. But it appears that he's not able to provide and take care of the family, which at this point in my life is what I really want in my man. It's just becoming unattractive. Side note, my dad was what we call a near do-well. He always almost got it right, but never quite could. He flip-flopped jobs, indecisive about his career, had us evicted from homes after he told us he was paying. So I have a lot of fear around this.
That's exactly what she said earlier. That you know, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense why she's so like, because
she doesn't want her kids to go through what she went through.
Yeah.
But if she's the breadwinner, she won't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Her kids having to be evicted.
So maybe,
God bless and all that.
Like she could make sure the safety net is there financially.
Yeah.
Since he provides in so many other ways.
And even in that instance, if her dad was struggling when she was younger, what was the mom doing financially? You know, if the mom was the breadwinner or
if she was like a stay-at-home mom and relying on him to make the decisions.
Yeah.
That's not what you have going on here.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You want to read that last part?
Yeah. Again, he is a gem, and a lot of people tell me that. Our rent and bills are always paid. We go half on everything. But it's just the financial aspect and not being able to feel financially secure with my man. Even on my maternity leave, I had to save up my own money. And as soon as that was gone, 2 months, I had to go back to work immediately because he couldn't cover anything extra. We're still fairly young and coming up together, but I don't know. Do I continue to be patient with him? I'm at a loss. He's my absolute best friend, and I have some reasonable concerns.
If he's your best friend, just tell him. Just straight up tell him, like, you're doing a good job. I just want you to make more bread. Just straight up. I feel like, you know, honesty is the best policy for most situations in relationships. And I feel like him hearing that from his woman, if she's his best friend, he'll take that and it'll click. He'll be like, all right, I got to go get this money. Yeah. Like, wifey wants me to do better. I could do better.
So I don't think someone like this writes us this letter without having had those type of conversations before.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, there's no way.
Or they want your point of view.
No, I agree that they want our point of view, but I just seeing how well this person articulated themselves, I highly doubt that
they haven't already tried to articulate it to their partner.
Like, listen, like this job, although you're great and it's very fulfilling, we need the money. And yeah, there's some people, just making it is enough, but some people want a little more or a little more than that. So like you were saying, it's important for her to, have some self-reflection and say, like, what values do I hold in a relationship? What values do I hold for my life? Where do I see my life going in the next 10 years? I would never tell anyone to break up, but you do need to start to have some tough conversations.
Yeah. And for example, River's 8 weeks, my son's 8 weeks. I would have died if I had to go back to work right now, and like absolutely had to, because there just wasn't enough money, like that would crush me right now. So I get that. And she might have a little resentment there, even if at the time she didn't notice, she saved up her own money. But like looking back, and it's like, had he tried to advance the way I have over the past 7 years we've been together, I could have made a different choice now. And education. Preschool with no education yourself, you're not going to make much money. But if you're in education and that's what you like, there are moves you can make so that you can start earning more within the same field.
Yeah. If he's in early education, he could do tutoring. He could do a whole bunch of other like after school programs. Like he could get the bag.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about like getting the money quick. But I think what you're saying is like, no, go get this education so you can get those big bags.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if he's been doing it this long without his education, me personally, I would not be like, all right, I'm going to go back.
But if you're making minimum wage,
you're not going to make that much more, if you get a degree to do the same job, in my opinion.
It all depends on location too.
Yeah.
It depends on, because my first teaching job was like a early learning center for like children with autism, and it was like barely $10 an hour.
Yeah, like $8.
It was terrible. And then even when I got on salary, it was $19,000 a year.
What year was this?
2015.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But being in that space, I learned about how to move up and elevate. And within 3 years, I got my master's degree and I was working for the city.
Like she was like a paraprofessional with women who have been paraprofessionals for 20, 30 years. And she's just like,
I was like, nope, I need to be a teacher because this ain't enough money. Like, I was very like how the female is in this story. Like, what's next? What's next? Motivation. Like, and
I know what you're going to say.
Go ahead. Go. You say it.
That mindset can be a lot. Like that person who's just always like, I got to get to the next. Like I lived through that. You know, she's never satisfied with, she's not satisfied for long. It's always like, what's next? What do we got to do? I got to go get my doctorate. I got to go. And as a man, it's like, damn, but I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Like I enjoy the life we built. Like I appreciate like even our apartment, like even you coming in and say, oh, I love your apartment. It's beautiful. I'm like, I'll tell it to my wife, you know, like, cause she's already thinking about the next thing. Yeah. And that could be tough as a man. And I think I do well for myself, like financially. I could do better because, you know, I want my wife to be able to stay home and raise our kids. So, you know, with that, you need to have even more money. So doing well, what I think is for myself is it needs to be even double, triple that because now I'm providing for a whole squad.
Do you feel like that's more pressure?
Hell yeah.
Some people get money under pressure. Some people get money when they don't feel pressure. So, you know, it is also different.
I feel like she gives me just enough pressure where I don't get comfortable.
Good. Okay. But I feel like him too. Like if he wants to, let's say he does want to go get his master's. If she's not happy with the money he's making now and he stops working to go to school, you know, that's another battle.
I was doing both.
I'm trying to defend this guy as much as possible.
No, I get it. Like, we need more men in education too. Like, I love that. Like, that's super sweet. And it shows that it probably carries into the type of father he is, you know, like he could teach his kids and like be a caregiver in a way that's going to help them develop. So I love that. But I need to be financially secure. And it comes from not having shit growing up, you know, and like being one paycheck away from the rent not being paid, having to borrow so the light doesn't get cut off, or like, you know,
going to bed hungry. You told me stories about that.
You know, so like needing that security, you know. I always tell Travis, like, you know, tragedy happens, but if something happened to my son, God forbid, you know, knock on wood, I don't want to have to do GoFundMes and like, how am I even going to bury my kid? You know, like, God forbid, but I want to at least have that security, you know, which I didn't have growing up. We were just from 1 minute to the next. What's going to happen?
And back then there was no GoFundMe.
No.
There was no social media. Like, hey, can somebody pinch in? Like, definitely different times.
Different. And coming from New York, look at us. Look how we all dressed, right? We have like, we put a lot of value. We put a lot of value into how we present ourselves, right? But then our fucking bank accounts be dry as fuck.
I wish I could sell this right now.
You know what? So that's another thing where we come with security. I'm like, I don't want to look fly, but then my light is about to get cut off, or
something happens and we need to do a GoFundMe.
Or I could only take 8 weeks off when I have a baby because all the money that could have been paying a couple extra months rent is in my closet right now. You know what I'm saying? So those are all our growing up in New York, and that culture like fucks with us and what we actually value. Right. Because you were saying like, what's really important to me? We don't really think about that shit sometimes.
And I think this conversation is very hard for me to have, just because like, in a lot of ways I could be him. I'm very like again, I'm a single mom. So like I show up and I do what I have to do for me, for my son and I. But I also think about like, do you know how much easier if I had someone there? Like, like it's very hard. So it's like, okay, if you decide to leave this man, think about what you're giving up now, because now you're going to be 2 households, right? Now you're going to have to deal with that. like co-parenting, and all right, you've been doing this by yourself the whole time, but you had your person there to help you raise your kid, like, you know, like stuff like that. I think about, because it's like
you're like, bitch,
like,
what?
do you know how, like,
do you want to switch hands?
Right? Like, do you know how much I wish I had someone there to hold my hand, to be like, yo, I got this bill, or like to go half on the fucking bill. Like, I've been doing this shit for so long that it's like, I would kill for someone to be present. But again, it's all about, like, you know, just think about like what you're gonna give up.
Yeah, like the grass isn't always greener.
Exactly. Like, let's say y'all break up, and then you find this man that you
with
think
money
that is,
and elevated.
but guess what? He's not present. I would prefer someone's presence over a bag. Absolutely. And that's something that I struggle with in relationships, where it's like, I'm so independent that someone comes into my life and I don't ask them for shit. I don't. And it's like, but on the other side of that, it's like, it's kind of weird. Like, here, like, can I help? And I'm like, nah, I just want your love. I want your presence. But in order, I mean, and it's different, right? Because, you know, once I find a partner, that's different. But like, now it's kind of like, it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation.
Hearing you say that, they got the wheels turning. Now I'm thinking, you know, all the things that she's list off her accomplishments. Would she have been able to do all those things if he wasn't there?
Yeah.
If he was the breadwinner.
No, but if he wasn't present.
There. Oh, if he wasn't there.
Like even stuff, for example, like I wear her accomplishments.
I was gonna say I wear her clothes.
I wear her accomplishments
like, freaks.
just like they're mine.
Okay.
Like she went and got her bachelor's, she went and got her master's. Like, no, that's our master's. That's our bachelor.
I couldn't do it without him there.
Not even just like financially, you know, taking care of our son and just a lot of things like homework, little things.
He used to read my work to me, and then I would take notes and like study that way. Like, so we literally did it together. Yeah. No, for real.
But and obviously we don't know like the inner workings of their relationship, but I'm sure just hearing what we've heard about him, he wasn't just letting you do all these things and not contributing in some way.
Right.
And I think you need to like really think about those things.
Had he been working 12-hour shifts or 7 days a week or 2 jobs busting his ass, she wouldn't have had that free time to
literally, you know. Because I've had, like, when Jordan's father was here, you know, it was like he was here, but he wasn't really here because he was working 12-hour shifts. So I was still raising my son while he was outside making the money. And it's like, bro, like if I could, you know what I'm saying? Like being able to have someone there and to hold your hand versus like, oh, just for me to say like, oh, I'm OD secure. Like, I mean, God forbid, I feel like if they were at like a really, really low, I would hope that he'd be like, I'm gonna go work that Uber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But they've been
because
doing well.
they're okay.
He probably didn't need to do that, you know?
Yeah, like, because sometimes people work under the pressure too. It's like, oh my God, we're about to lose our house. What can I do to like, you know, do this?
This kind of reminds me, I have a cousin and I'll never forget this, like maybe like 5-6 years ago, he called me. He's like, yo, I just found out I'm gonna be a dad. And I was just like, oh wow, like that was crazy. At this point, he was still living with his mom and his brothers. He didn't have a car. I don't even know if he had a job. In literally 2 weeks, this guy got an apartment. He got a car. He got his license. I think he got promoted at work. Yeah. Like everything he had to do, he did in like 2 weeks because the pressure was on. And he got his own apartment. He moved him and his baby mama into the apartment, and he's still there to this day. So like, you know, kudos to him for that. Sometimes you need that pressure. Like, I don't know, maybe do an experiment. Like, yeah, babe, I lost my job. What's he going to say?
No, don't play games with your man.
No, I don't want to take it to that. But, you know, even like a conversation like, what if I lost my job today? Yeah. What are you going to do? See what his answer is.
Like, and that's what I'm saying.
She needs the affirmations maybe to just know that he would step up if needed.
But just having the conversations like, I'm feeling this way because of these things. God forbid something happens. What are we going to do? You know, like, those are real conversations. Like, have those conversations.
What she says, she's not finding him attractive,
like it's becoming unattractive.
Unattractive.
And that's important
and just to go to that too, right? Because sometimes I can get that, right? I've been in situations where eventually like I was so attracted to a person unattractive, but like, is it because of what you're viewing? Are you on Instagram following people that have you know, your friend, your girlfriend has the husband that has mad money. Like, why don't compare? You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you're unattractive, because you're seeing people that are filling your mind with like
what you're consuming.
Yeah, what are you consuming? Is that what you want? Like, and that's why what I said, it goes back to like, what do you believe? What do you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really
influencing your beliefs?
What has you know what I'm saying? Like, think about all those things, because we don't put those things into perspective.
I'm optimistic for them.
Yeah,
because they're not in a horrible situation. Yeah. She just wants to be in a better situation.
Yeah,
and like all of us are saying, I think just even if they had that conversation, maybe, you know, listening to this, they may have more insight, more perspective. Maybe they could watch it together.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing this. Or she's realizing like, hey, I didn't know I was not nitpicking, but, you know, looking for stuff, which is actually what nitpicking is. But yeah, it's all about having the conversation when the time is right too. Because you could tell Trav all the time, like, yo, you can't cook for shit. But if, you know, you're having guests over and you can't cook right now because you got a paper cut or something, the pressure's on. This boy gonna go in there and chef it up. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna be like Uber. But I do also want to like validate her feelings, right? Because
absolutely,
I feel like people feel like I can't complain about Travis because I'm so fucking lucky.
Well, trust me, after I watch the podcast, I'll text him like, yo, he talking some bullshit. Carry $100.
Like, I appreciate him. I love him. But that doesn't eliminate the fact that I'm going to have inner conflict and
your hunger for more is not an issue.
You know, like,
yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes people look at me and are like, I wish I just had a man. And it's like, that's not fair. Like, I could still have feelings and like,
wants and needs
needs just because I have this, you know. Sometimes you're looked at as like, you know, first world problems. Like, why are you complaining? Like, so what? I could still
you're definitely
entitled.
Like, even him, when he was just like, tell that to my wife about the apartment, nice. You know, having the sentence, oh, this is a really beautiful house versus this is a beautiful apartment, that's also a great feeling to somebody. Not to say that you need to upgrade it on like that, but it's just context. It's all about context.
And we flip-flop on what we want. And it's like, do we really want that? Like, we were talking about moving like upstate. He goes, I could do like a 2-hour commute. But then I was like, that means I'm losing you 4 hours a day. Nope. I'd rather stay right here. I don't want to lose you for 4 hours every day.
People forget about travel time all the time. Even if it's just taking the train to go to work. That's an hour and a half back and forth.
And I'm fortunate. I get to work in 30 minutes. You know, I work in Midtown and just door to door. I'm at work, and we take that for granted.
And we don't want to lose. We don't want to give that up, because I feel like our time together, we value it more than we value money. You know,
especially now with a newborn, you need his time as much as possible.
Absolutely,
especially if he's not cooking. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think we're all done. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for joining us.
Do you have, so you could take this opportunity to like pitch yourself if you have anything going on, if you want people to find you.
If you don't, it's okay.
It's okay.
No pressure.
No pressure, but you know.
Or where can they find you?
Yeah.
Oh, let me plug y'all in. No, you can follow me on Instagram at Corinna, also known as Bronx Bonita. You forgot that AK.
No, I didn't. Watch when you hear it back.
She said it.
Okay, sorry. I said it.
I think coming up, I just have, I'm gonna be selling some stuff, you know, for women's. It's like my first dabble in merch.
Okay. AKA designer.
Actually, it's so funny because it's my first dabble in merch, and it's literally something that he did first, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
What is it?
I could show.
Yeah, you can show it. It's a lighter.
Oh,
yeah. So I got these fire photos done by my friends, and I threw myself on it.
This one's for us, for the host.
She has a PG-13 version.
I actually brought you one. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a different pose.
I want to pick up a smoking habit.
We're gonna start smoking. Yes, it's fine.
Well, I don't really smoke, but I do like candles, and I like my sage. So girl,
The coolest part, she put it like this little QR code, and if you scan the QR code, it'll take it to like her website and a whole bunch of other stuff.
that's fine.
fire.
That was
you
a
gotta
dope
plug
touch.
yourself.
Nice.
Plug yourself
That's
in.
fire.
We'll put all that in the description.
Yeah, you gotta like leave them in people's couch and shit.
No, I'm selling them shit. Pay me,
True.
okay? Single mom, pay me.
True. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, so that's, at Corinna. If you wanna photo shoots, I'm down. I'm a model.
Yes.
I like to act too. I'm a little actress and shit. I do love everything. If you want, go on a friend date.
Bring her flowers.
Just friends.
Fly me out.
Best friends.
If you want to fly me out. Since I haven't had that experience yet.
I got some credit. Fly you to Newark from LaGuardia. Well, for me, my Instagram's at Poppy Bangin'. I've been trying to change it to It's Him for a while now, but some Filipino guy
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
from 2012 has the account, and I've been emailing Instagram. But I am getting back to stand-up comedy, so I will be performing in the New York area very, very soon.
You're really not that funny though.
I'm the funniest person you ever met in your life. And I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I design, I work with a whole bunch of brands, and I got a whole bunch of content coming out. And I just filmed something with the Network app, which was really dope for the Knicks.
that.
It was pretty
so
cool.
fire.
I wish it was a little bit longer because we had a dope conversation similar to this, and it wasn't put out there.
we're gonna cut all your parts.
but the experience was dope. Like, I just love conversating with people and like getting new perspective and insight and stuff. But yeah, y'all could find me on Instagram, and I'm always a clown on there. So yeah, that's it.
And
you.
I especially
you.
want to thank you, Lu, because from day one since we started this podcast, Lu has been so supportive. Like, he is our own personal street team because literally,
I have put so many girls that I've gone on dates with to the podcast. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh hey.
I think I put you onto the podcast.
You did.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
so happy we could have you here.
Absolutely.
Yes. And thank you for having
Yes.
me.
Thank you for coming.
I don't know about him, but thanks for having me.
I'm sorry the first girl I suggested couldn't make it. She was free.
Great backup. So we always end these episodes by asking each other a question, but we're gonna ask you since you're our guest. So
Do
you still like us?
Oh yeah. yes.
She's thinking about it.
No, I was saying yes.
Like,
I guess like even more because when you meet people, you see them on Instagram. Okay,
Yeah.
oh no, I really like you.
I'm a real person.
No, yeah. I love the balance of you two on the podcast because you're like so calm and mellow, and she's a little bit more was it eccentric?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. You still fuck with me?
New podcast coming to you. Do you still fuck?
Do you still fuck with me? Like, you still my man?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, man. I like your outfit, so yeah.
All right, now you look a little flat.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, go to YouTube and check out
You
their
gotta look
fits.
at their outfits.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.